Sophia Williams stepped out of the sleek black car and onto the marble-paved driveway of the Emerald Plaza, a luxury hotel known for its grandeur and exclusivity. The circular entrance was framed by towering palm trees, and the air was filled with the soft sound of cascading water from a grand fountain at the center. Valet attendants moved with choreographed precision, greeting guests with a practiced formality. Sophia, however, was used to such displays of opulence. As one of the wealthiest women in the world, luxury was no longer novel to her, though she still appreciated the finer details. Dressed in dark jeans, a fitted sweater, and her favorite flats, Sophia was dressed casually for a change. Her usually polished, businesslike appearance was set aside for a rare evening of relaxation. Brushing a few loose curls away from her face, she stepped into the spacious lobby, where the cool blast of air conditioning greeted her. The hum of soft conversations, the sparkle of crystal chandeliers, and the subtle scent of fresh flowers mixed with the aroma of gourmet coffee created an ambience of understated elegance. Approaching the front desk, Sophia was greeted by a young man in a sharp suit, typing away at his computer. His name tag read Evan. Without looking up, he muttered, "Good evening. How can I assist you?" Sophia offered a polite smile. "I have a reservation under the name Sophia Williams." Evan's fingers paused momentarily before he glanced up, his eyes flickering briefly over her casual attire. His smile was polite but thin, the kind of practiced expression reserved for those who didn't quite seem to fit. "Let me check for you," he said, his tone cool as he turned back to his screen. His hands moved slowly, almost theatrically, as if her request was a bother. After a moment, he looked up again, his expression neutral. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I don't see a reservation under that name." Sophia's brow furrowed slightly. "That can't be right. It was booked over a month ago by my assistant. Could you check again?" Evan's tight smile returned. "Of course," he replied, though his tone betrayed a lack of genuine effort. A few more keystrokes later, he looked up again. "No, I'm afraid there's nothing here under Williams." Sophia took a slow breath, maintaining her composure. "Could you try checking under the name of my assistant, Charlotte Evans?" Again, Evan went through the motions, clicking keys with exaggerated slowness. "Nothing under that name either," he said, leaning back with a practiced shrug. Sophia stared at him for a moment, weighing her next move. She could easily pull up the confirmation email on her phone and force him to acknowledge the error. But something about his tone, the dismissiveness in his demeanor, told her this wasn't about a mistake. This was something else. "Is there a manager I can speak with?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. Evan's polite mask slipped slightly, replaced by a flicker of annoyance. "I can call someone for you, but I'm sure they'll tell you the same thing," he said, picking up the phone and speaking quietly to someone on the other end. Sophia turned and walked toward a plush velvet couch in the lobby, her calm exterior masking a rising frustration. She had faced subtle discrimination before, and this moment felt all too familiar. The casual dismissal, the assumptions, the patronizing tone. It all reminded her of times when she had to fight just to be seen. Minutes later, a tall woman with short blonde hair approached. Her name tag read Karen. Her tailored suit and professional demeanor radiated authority, but her expression mirrored the same polished indifference Sophia had encountered at the desk. "Good evening, ma'am. I'm the manager, Karen Shaw. How can I assist you?" she asked. Sophia stood, meeting her gaze. "I made a reservation here over a month ago. Your staff is telling me there's no record of it." Karen offered a tight-lipped smile. "I've been informed, and I've checked our system. Unfortunately, there's no reservation under your name. And as it happens, we're fully booked this evening. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience." Sophia's patience was wearing thin. "Fully booked? I find that hard to believe." Karen's smile faltered for the briefest moment before she regained her composure. "We've had some issues in the past, ma'am, and we've become more selective about our clientele." The implication hung in the air, heavy and unmistakable. Sophia felt a cold anger wash over her. She understood exactly what Karen meant. She looked Karen in the eye. "Thank you for your time," she said quietly before turning and walking out of the lobby, her head held high. Outside, the warm evening breeze brushed against her skin, but Sophia barely felt it. Her chest was tight with frustration and disbelief. Henry, her longtime driver, stood waiting by the car. He immediately noticed the tension in her posture. "Everything all right, Ms. Williams?" Henry asked, his deep voice laced with concern. Sophia opened the car door and slid inside. "Just take me home, Henry," she said softly, her voice steady but carrying an edge of controlled anger. As the car moved through the city streets, Sophia's mind raced. She replayed the interaction at the hotel, her frustration bubbling to the surface. She could still see Evan's dismissive smirk and Karen's veiled condescension. They didn't know who she was. They didn't care. But they were about to find out. By the time Sophia reached her penthouse, her frustration had crystallized into resolve. She wasn't just going to complain. She wasn't going to demand an apology. No, that would be too small. She was going to buy the hotel. The thought struck her like lightning, sending a jolt of energy through her body. Buying the Emerald Plaza wouldn't just be a business move. It would be a statement, a way to reclaim the space that had tried to exclude her and turn it into something better, something that reflected her values. The next morning, Sophia woke with a renewed sense of purpose. She contacted her legal team and began the process of acquiring the hotel. As she reviewed the financial reports and legal documents, she learned that the Emerald Plaza was owned by a larger hospitality group called Crescent Holdings. The hotel had been underperforming in recent years, struggling with declining revenue and complaints about its management. This only strengthened her resolve. Over the next several weeks, Sophia worked tirelessly to secure the deal. She strategized with her team, crafted an offer Crescent Holdings couldn't refuse, and moved swiftly to close the transaction. By the time the ink dried on the contract, the Emerald Plaza was hers. On the day she returned to the hotel, the staff had already been informed of the change in ownership. As Sophia stepped out of her car, dressed in a tailored suit that exuded power and elegance, the atmosphere inside the lobby shifted. Evan, the front desk attendant, froze when he saw her. Karen, the manager, paled visibly. Sophia walked through the lobby with measured confidence, the sound of her heels echoing on the marble floor. She approached the front desk, where Evan stood stiffly. "Good morning," Sophia said, her voice calm but commanding. "I'd like to speak with the manager." Karen emerged from her office, her face a mask of forced composure. "Ms. Williams," she began, but Sophia cut her off. "It's Mrs. Williams," Sophia corrected. "And I'm not here as a guest. I'm here as the new owner of this hotel." The color drained from Karen's face. Sophia continued, her tone unwavering. "We're going to have a conversation about the changes that are coming. I suggest you gather the staff. We have a lot to discuss." The meeting that followed marked the beginning of a transformation. Sophia implemented sweeping reforms, from diversity training programs to overhauling the hotel's hiring practices. She replaced outdated policies with ones that prioritized inclusivity, respect, and excellence. The Emerald Plaza became a place where everyone, guests and staff alike, felt valued and welcomed. Within months, the hotel's reputation was transformed. It became a symbol of progress and innovation, a shining example of what could be achieved when leadership was driven by purpose and vision. And every time Sophia walked through the lobby, she was reminded of the power of taking ownership, not just of a hotel, but of a narrative. The Emerald Plaza wasn't just a luxury destination anymore. It was a testament to Sophia's resilience, determination, and belief that true success wasn't about exclusivity, but about creating spaces where everyone belonged.